Hey, hello everyone. Let's start the discussion on do while loop, which is the third loop of C++. So previously we have seen for loop and while loop, and I have told you that for loop and while loop are very similar. The only slight difference that they have is between the syntax that they have. Alright. Now this do while loop is little bit different than the previous two loops, for loop and while loop. I'm going to explain you how the do while loop is different than for and while loop. So let's quickly get started. Let's start with the syntax of do while loop. See, the syntax is little bit different. You have to write do keyword followed by body of the do while loop. So you have to write do keyword followed by do while body. See, again, this do while body can be either a simple statement or a compound statement. So if you are writing a simple statement, then it's going to be a single line. If you are writing a compound statement, then it is going to have multiple simple statements which are enclosed between curly braces. So you have both the options. Okay. Then you have to write while keyword followed by the test condition in parentheses. Okay. Let's quickly revise the syntax. You have to write do keyword followed by do while body. Then you have to write while keyword, and in parentheses you have to write test condition. Now let me tell you how this loop executes, okay, with the help of this flowchart on your left hand side. So basically the do while body will first execute, then the test condition will be checked. If the test condition is true, then again do while body will be executed, then again test condition will be checked. If test condition is true, then again do while body will be executed. This will keep on happening till your test condition is true. Once your test condition becomes false, the loop is going to be terminated. Okay, so this is how the do while loop is going to be executed. Now I hope you have noticed one small difference that do while loop has as compared to for loop and while loop. Now let me tell you the difference. See, the for loop and while loop are called as entry control loops. Okay. Now why they are called as entry control loop? Because if you have observed, if you remember the flowchart of for loop and while loop, the test condition check happens before execution of the body. So let me show that to you. See, if I open the flowchart of for loop, you can see the test condition is checked before and then the body will be executed. Similarly, in case of while loop, the same thing happens. The test condition is checked before and then the body will be executed. But in case of do while loop, it's a different story. In case of do while loop, first the body is executed and then the test condition is checked, and that's the reason the do while loop is called as exit control loop. Okay, let me give you one small example. Imagine there's one movie theater. Okay, there's one type of theater where you first go to your entry, and at the time of entry you need to show the ticket, and then you are allowed to enter into the theater if your ticket is valid. Okay, if your movie ticket is valid, then and then only the entry is allowed. This is one theater, one type of theater. The another type of theater is something like this. You go to theater directly without checking anything, without showing any ticket. You go, sit, enjoy the movie, and then at the time of exit, when you are exiting from the theater, the security guard will ask you for ticket. If you show the ticket, if it is valid, then it's good. If it is not valid, then maybe you will need to pay some penalty. Okay, so this is example of exit control, and the previous example was for entry control. So when you need to show the ticket at the time of entry, it becomes entry control, and when you show the ticket at the time of exit, it becomes exit control. So do while loop is exit control loop. Why it is exit control? Because first we execute our body, and once our body gets finished, after that we check the test condition. Okay, now this exit control and entry control, they actually bring some behavioral change in execution of our code. I'm going to show you how it is going to add that behavioral change in our code execution. But before that, let's see this small code snippet that I've written over here. See, what I've done is I've created a variable with name a. I have initialized it with 0. Then I'm writing do keyword followed by this compound statement, okay, which ends over here. And then I'm writing while keyword followed by parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis this is my test condition. Okay, and this is my body of the do while loop. Okay, this is the syntax that I am following: do keyword body followed by while keyword followed by in parenthesis the test condition. So let's see how this loop is going to execute. First my a is 0, so it is going to print a is 0. Then it is going to increment my a will become 1. Now then it is going to check my test condition. So my test condition is a less than 5 and my value of a is 1. So 1 less than 5, this condition will be checked. So 1 less than 5 is true, and that's why it is again going to allow me to execute the body. So again this body will execute. Now my a is 1, so it will print a is 1, then my a will increment, a will become 2. 2 less than 5 is true, again body will execute, a will become 3. 3 will be printed, right? A will become 3, then 3 less than 5 is again true, it will again allow you to execute the body, body will be executed. A is 4, 4 will be printed, 4 less than 5, again this is true, so again your body will execute, 4 will be printed, and now your a becomes 5 after a plus plus. Okay, so once your a becomes 5, 5 less than 5, this condition becomes false. Okay, so then your loop will terminate and you will come outside of the do while loop. So in this way this code snippet is going to be executed. Let me show you the execution. So for that I'll write g++ followed by, let me save this file, g++ followed by 04 do while. Okay, let me type 04 do while .cpp, and then let's execute this. You can see it is printing a is 0, a is 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this way the do while loop is executing. Okay, I hope you are clear with how the do while loop is executing. The only difference that we have is the check, the test condition check. In case of do while loop, it happens at the end of the loop. In case of while loop, it happens before the loop. Okay, now I'll show you one difference that we get because of the exit control behavior that the do while loop has. So for that, what I'll do is I'll comment out this code and I'll write another code snippet. So I'll write one code snippet using while loop. Let's say I'm writing something like this: while 0 followed by something like cout while executed /n. This is my while loop body. Let's say this is the while loop that I am writing, and then let's say after while loop I am writing cout after loop followed by /n. Okay, now let's quickly compile and execute this code. So I'll clear this terminal. Let's compile this code and let's execute it. You can see it is only printing after loop. Okay, it is not printing while executed. Why it is not printing while executed? Because the test condition of while loop is false, and as it is false, we will never enter inside the while loop body, or the while loop body will never execute. Okay, that's why it is printing after loop, because we are terminating the loop and then whatever we are writing after the loop will be executed. Now let's write the same code with the do while loop. So for that, what I'll do is I'll cut this while from here. I'll write do keyword over here, and then I'll write this while and test condition at the end. Okay, and then over here I'll write do while executed. Now let's see what happens. So for that, let me clear the terminal and let's compile and execute this code. You can see we are getting do while executed and followed by after loop. Okay, now this is what we are getting, because the do while loop is an exit control loop, and at least once the body will always execute. So you can see through this flow chart, see, first we execute the body and then we check the condition. So even if the test condition is false, still the body will execute at least once. Okay, you can see it over here. My test condition is false. You can see it directly. You can see it is false. Okay, but still the body will execute at least once because it is an exit control loop. Okay, so I hope you got the difference between entry control loop and exit control loop. For and while are entry control loops, whereas do while is an exit control loop. So thank you so much for watching this video.